That's us recording now. So
1, 2.
So I don't know.
It was great.
Well, we're going to be. I'm going to be away, and we're going to be recording 2 videos today. And I don't know if this video is going to be going up whenever me and Megan are away to Tunisia or not. So we'll just find out, or this whether or not this is being
Where?
posted.
Tunisia.
Yeah, Tunisia. Yeah, watch out.
Why don't you go to somewhere that's not full of pirates and shit? What the fuck?
It's not full of pirates. You're thinking of Somalia. I mean, actually,
Tunisia's
yeah.
full of pirates. All right.
All right, well, fair enough. It might be.
Did you fucking lie to me?
The only thing I want to do is, while we're there, I really want to go to Carthage. That's like my big thing that I want to do. But
Carthage.
but I don't know if Ozzy will be able to make the coach guide because it's like 2.5 hours from where we're staying. So we'll just find out.
You're
We'll
like,
see.
why is the ground so salty?
Anyway, look, if you guys want to come, so I know you guys are going to complain about it anyway. But Garbu's picked the topic, so he is because he wants to do it. I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Let's go.
So, if any of you guys are active on RPG Twitter, you'll notice that these same arguments pop up time and time again, and
All the fucking time.
And I'm actually really sick of half of them. For instance, one of the biggest ones, combat wheelchair. I don't want to talk about it. X cards. I don't want to talk about it. Rules is written 1-to-1 time. Dice fudging. Like, you know, like it's seasonal.
What's a
almost.
Brownstein, you false prophet?
I honestly don't, like, you know what? I feel like a normie. I feel like, you know what? I actually do. I feel like...
You do. Like, I didn't realize how normal we were until I met these fucking grown adults doing this shit. I was like, man, me and James are fucking normies.
You know what? I take everything back. I am, on all accounts, a complete normie when it comes to RPGs online. I take it all back. You can revoke me. I'm okay with that because, oh my god.
We're taking back your base card.
Yes, you can. If that means that I don't have to get on like these guys, oh my god, please. I am so tired of it.
Like, bro, I was not ready.
Right, okay, so what's going on now? So we already had this about, like, it wasn't even 6 months ago where people were garning about okay, just put it out. I used to be okay with fudging dice schools. Now I am of the opinion that you just don't do it. If you're that upset with how the dice roll turned out, you shouldn't have let the player roll for it, or you shouldn't have put them in a situation where it's like, oh my god, this is going to ruin my game. It's like, well, you just improvise, and that's all I can really say. If you get upset about what the dice say, you know, I don't know, play Daggerheart or something. Honestly, that's all I can really say.
Honestly, yeah, like, go play a game. If you want to do pure narrative shit, and I get that, sometimes you want to be a little gay and cringe. We're all there, right? You want to play a little happy game where you play with your friends, you don't cry, and everything goes well for you.
If that's what you want to play, then you know what? I'm actually of the opinion now, just for the amount, I'm going to actually revoke all my nerd credit for all this, because I'm of the opinion now, from seeing the way some of these guys get on, I'm like, oh my god, please stop, please, this is getting out of hand, and Why are you like this? Yeah, no, you guys just, like, honestly, check it out. Go on RPG Twitter and see what the guys are talking about, and you'll get an idea if you spend enough time there.
You won't regret anything, Winky Face. You won't lose the will to live or anything like that. That'd be crazy.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of the guys that get really invested in this sort of stuff. They are really dead on, though. You know what I mean? Like, but the
thing is, some of them get so invested, they get in the wrong way. Like, they get, like, invested in like, it sounds weird, but a lot of them get invested in just the absolute wrongest way possible. And I don't know what spawns that, or what even causes that.
I believe it's a form of purity tests. If I be completely honest with you, I believe that it's
probably not wrong.
I believe it's like a form of, like, leftism, if that makes any sense, where it's like, oh, if you can't hold X and Y opinion, otherwise you're a Nazi. Where you have to have X and Y opinion, otherwise you're not a true grognard. You know what I mean? Like, does that make any weird sense? I that's what I feel like, but I don't want this video to be gardening. You know what I mean? I really don't want that.
Well, you see, like, back in the day, I was like, oh, James, you're beating. Like, but now I'm like, yeah, I see it. Like,
yeah,
it's funny how, like, you're like, no, I'm sure they're completely normal, James. You're being silly. Stop it. Now I'm like, I hate all of you. It sounds mean too, but, like, some of these guys, I want to just like, kick them to a fucking fence, dude.
Have you ever played God of War 3?
Why you like this?
Have you ever played God of War 3?
I have, yeah.
Right, so do you remember whenever you're fighting, is it Helios? You're fighting, like, the god of sun?
Where he tear his head off?
Yeah, no. You know when you use the L3 and R3 and you push the analog sticks in to push your fingers through the eyes?
Oh, hold on. I thought he just tore his head off.
No, that was
him too?
Right, hold on. Let me Google this. God.
Yeah, because Helios, he tears his head off. He uses a fucking lamp.
Thumbs in eyes. Who was that? Oh, it was Poseidon. So it was.
Oh, Poseidon. Okay, yeah. So
All right.
Helios, he tore his fucking head off.
Yeah.
Just again, you know, that is a vibe. I can see me doing something.
Yeah.
Kick your fucking face.
Look, but I don't want this to be about this. Let's get on topic. Let's actually get into the discussion of Fudging dIcE. I honestly don't have much else to say about it.
Fudging dIcE.
Get good. I honestly do feel like dIcE fudging is a skill issue, and I feel like I myself was definitely... It is definitely something that I've overcome in the last couple of years. Like, if you came to me 3 years ago and said to me, James, what's your opinion on dIcE fudging? I would have been, honestly, it's alright. You know, it depends. Like, no, you don't want to go overboard, but, like, you know, see if your character dies to, like...
A young James full of hope and life. Oh, I think it's okay.
It's okay on occasion, you know what I mean? Like, you know, okay, if your character dies to, like, bandit number 53, that's not exactly a fun ending to your character. I'm of the opinion that every fight should be life or death. Does that make any sense? And
it's funny how when you evolve, you're like, man, I want these players. Like, man, we died to the goblins again. Should I like? I want to keep dying the goblins. Like,
yeah, good. That's honestly, I think, I don't know if that's me being more of a DM, because if you came to me 3 years ago, I was in 90%. I was playing like 90% player, 10% DM. That's like ratio of what I would play. And if you come to me now,
once you fall down that fucking hole, you like once you fall down that DM hole, you can't get out. You're like, I like this deep, dark depth where I live now.
And you know what?
I create the suffering.
You know what? Another thing that kind of gets me as well, actually, while we're on topic, the idea of the eternal DM. I actually quite like playing both. It depends. You know, there's certain things that I know that I can DM myself, and there's some things that I am competent with. Like, for instance, Baptism of Fire. I would like to play Baptism of Fire. Probably not the actual role system, but I would like to play that as a campaign. But it's not the type of campaign that I could DM. Yeah, I would definitely play that as a setting. I would definitely do... I know it's not your thing, but I would be okay with playing that as a setting. However, it is not something that I could competently DM. Same with, actually, Axe. Axe 2, leading over the rules. I really like it. I think it's a really cool system. It can do a lot of stuff really, really well. However, it's just too... It's a system that I know myself I would not be very competent at DMing. You know what I mean? I feel like I would do a lot of hand waving, and it just... I feel like, you know what, again, look, I'm saying this to myself, skill issue. It's a pure skill issue, and I'm okay with admitting that. You know what I mean?
Well, to me, it just seems more disingenuous. Now, we'll go back, before I forget, do the talk about it, like the internal GM. It's one of those things where I haven't found a GM I like playing under, because a lot of the GMs...
You don't want to play in any of my games? No. Like, come on.
No. I mean, like, like in the games I have played, like with you and fucking Teals, I was like, okay, this is fun.
Yeah.
But a lot of other DMs, they're so boring, or they lack imagination, or they lack that storyteller riz, as kids say. Like they lack that Ohio riz, as the youth says nowadays.
Yeah, I get
wow,
that.
you fucking suck at this. Like you're kind of sucking the fun of the game.
You know what?
One day, remember, your co-host has a fucking hummingbird brain. I went to a open D&D night at a local bar last week. I was like, you know what? It's on a Tuesday. I'll stop in. I'll see how it goes. And like, I'm sitting there, and of course, I am the most manly fuck on the table. Like, it's not even a fucking joke. It's like literally me, the soys, and this 400-pound giga hippo with her fucking pink hair, playing a fucking ubu tiefling.
Can I say that as well? Honestly, I don't consider myself like a manly man at all. Like, I'm not really. Like, I'm just not like, I wouldn't, like, you know, alpha male. You know what I mean? I wouldn't classify myself
alpha
in that.
Male.
You know what I mean?
Tim Hortons, Coot Donuts. Yeah,
I'm definitely not like a gimpazoid by any means, but like, see some of the people that I've came across, I'm like, oh my god, I'm a little giga child compared to these guys. You know what I mean? Have you ever?
I don't know what it is about that scene, but like Warhammer, like war gamers were a little more I don't want to say butch, but like we're not as effeminate.
Yeah, I get that.
I was really taken aback because we're in this huge room with like 4 dozen fucking tables, and it was a little DM. They're doing a little mini game for three to four players.
Yeah,
I'm looking around. I'm like, man, I don't think any of these guys could, like, I'm pretty sure I could fit their entire body on my pant legs. Like, they're just really effeminate, goofy-looking, beanie-wearing dudes. Like,
beanies? What is it with beanies? It just, oh my god, I don't know. If you're watching this wearing a beanie, take it off.
But, like, I've been slowly, like, not wearing beanies because, like, you guys make me feel weird wearing this.
I think it's Tim Pool did it to me, personally. There, actually, you know what? Before I forget, actually, I need to ask you this. What's the deal with Tim Pool at the minute? Apparently, he's like Leech quit, so he has. And I don't know the whole story.
I don't blame him.
And I don't know the whole story. I've got no idea. While we're on this, you know, I've got no. Like, if any guys can give me a TLDR, just give it to me in the comments because
the guys had no good news for so long. You're going to burn out. You're going to lose the will to keep because he does, you know, kind of private sector news thing, and he's had no good news for so long. I think he's just fucking burnt out. Like, I am tired of doing this. It's doom and gloom every fucking day.
Yeah,
you have people trying to cancel him and like swat his compound and his house, and he even swatted like what 13 dozen fucking times. And he's like, you know what? Fuck this. You guys are gay. I'm out. You know. And honestly, I don't fucking blame him.
Yeah, because
Tim Pool is. Yeah, because Tim Pool's a moderate, you know. He's a normal dude.
Nice work for a fence sitter.
I love the way this post feels on my asshole.
All right, look, enough. I don't want to talk about Tim Pool. Don't want to back on role playing games. No, okay. What we're going on? Eternal DM.
Yeah, the Eternal DM, and like this DM in front of me, you know, he was this little effeminate fucking bird person. And I'm sitting there, and they have no idea who I am. I actually wore a mask, so they wouldn't know who the fuck I was.
It's not Sean Gardner.
So I took my beard, I kind of bundled it together, tied it up, put it under the mask. I couldn't tell like how big my beard was or my face. I was wearing a mask and sunglasses because I want the guys to go, "There's a Nazi guard, bro!" Do like the fucking like the hills have eyes scream. So I was completely incognito while I was at this fucking event. And I was like, man, this guy sucks the fattest dick. Yeah, as a DM, like he like for me, like all DMs need to have a moat of character and a moat of pizzazz.
For me,
a little something, you know. And he lacked everything. He was like, okay, go ahead and roll. Okay, you succeed. You see orcs on the horizon. They have spears and shields. What do you do?
For me,
I would try it. Like, well, I would try and like do a little bit of role play, and he would shut it down every fucking time. Like every fucking time. I was like, you know what? You suck. I hate you. Fuck you. Like, I was out of there.
I will say it's been hit or miss for me whenever I've went to those sort of like events. I have had, I think I've went to about 5, maybe 6 of these sort of events, and I think I've had like 2 pretty solid sessions. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was actually like pretty decent. No, okay, you know what? On the topic of that, let's go on to another one. What is it? Every group has this one person that, or maybe they've got one or 2 of them, that they show up, they don't speak a word, they only attack in combat, and then leave, and that's it. Like, what is it that possesses someone?
Standard human fighter.
No. Her.
I think
there's way better human fighters than that.
It's just a joke, bro. Calm down, bro. It's a joke, bro. Calm down.
All right, go for it.
But I think it's one of those things where some people don't understand, or maybe they're willful and don't want to understand that most of these TTRPGs, they're not a war game. Like, those guys are war game minded. They build the thing to destroy the thing. Yeah. And most war games, you know, they're kind of beer and pretzels. Like, if you ask me, every war game is beer and pretzels. You can like play Legion or 40K or Bolt Action and have a chat and fun while playing, but it revolves around the game, and there's not a lot of need to really overthink things. While in RPG, you are a character, not just a general. You're a character.
Yeah.
Who in a system where it's encouraged to become your character, in like half of the game isn't combat, it's interacting with the DM, the other players, and NPCs. That's also the game in itself is storytelling. But most war games are not about storytelling. They're about beating your enemy.
Yeah, you might have like an overarching campaign of sorts where it's like, okay, we're going to set up like a planet or whatever.
You know what I mean?
Like, you know, like something like Armageddon. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, no, it is kind of like Arma 2. Think about it, because you have your little armies, or your it's more of a campaign in a less narrative fashion. You're simply taking over these little hex squares or squares or on a map, and then trying to beat it by points.
And then you might get like some bonus for taking that objective or whatever, and then you get like maybe like an extra 50 points on your army list for next game or whatever.
Which are very fun, by the way. I fucking love like long-term escalation leagues. Oh my god,
they are
you
good.
have a dude in a squad. Figure it out.
The only the only thing I will say is I feel like anytime I play one of those games, it snowballs really quickly. So if you get like the first couple games wins and you get them like small buffs, they really like snowball, and then you start stealing them.
Well, that's why you allow team ups where it's one guy on two. You go, hey, me and you, we're gonna tag up on that dude, and you literally, because it's I remember like the rules I used to play with the old league is where you could have what's called a 2-on-1, where you form an alliance and you both bring in your armies to try and stomp out the other dude. And there are some dudes where they would go 2-on-1 and beat the other two to death. So sometimes it go to the fact that you have basically 1-on-4. You have 4 guys trying to beat like the fucking in-game boss, like ba trying to beat like fucking Darth Vader, who's just fucking beating people to shit.
Oh, here on topic, actually,
can
we go on that? Like, can we just do stuff that people are garden about on Twitter? Is this going to be the entire video? What's the whole thing? People, because it was May 4th there, so it was right.
Oh, right. So which one do you want to talk about? Like 14 dozen things.
Right, I'm just going to put it out here. New Star Wars is trash. It has been for a very long time.
Oh, the Acolyte?
No. I honestly do. Out of the new Star Wars, I genuinely did really enjoy Rogue One, and I don't even feel bad. Rogue One was a great movie, right? It didn't have to be like Star Wars.
Well, no. Rogue One was a war movie. It put the wars back in Star Wars, and people really like me. I loved that bit. I loved how it was a war movie, and there were no hand wavy space magic bullshit. It was just Joe's.
Well, there's
doing
very
Joe
little of
shit.
it. There was the blind guy, but like that was about it. Really, I can't think of anyone else.
He was chat as fuck though. He's blind, had a stick, was beating the shit out of people. I was like, all right, yeah.
Yeah, he had no lightsaber. Yeah, well, actually, was there any lightsabers bar Darth Vader?
No. The only lightsaber was fucking Darth Vader's red saber. It happened at the end of the movie.
Yeah, and that was the
only lightsaber.
I don't care. See if you don't think that was a cool scene. Shame on you. I know New Star Wars is trash. I know it's really gay, but Darth Vader in that hallway scene, oh my god, it was actually like it was cool. Okay, and I don't even feel bad. What are you going to do about it, guys?
Dude,
okay, I enjoyed it.
People screamed in the theater. Like people weren't prepared for it, and they fucking screamed.
It was genuinely cool.
Like what the fuck?
Now, don't get me wrong. Before we go any further, I do want to look. I'm definition blackpilled when it comes to Star Wars. I'm not interested in any of it at this point. I've kind of just given.
I'm blackpilled.
I'm blackpilled. I am blackpilled. I am completely and utterly blackpilled on Star Wars, and I just don't really care that much for it. Like honestly, I just don't have any interest anymore, and
Take the black Star Wars pill.
Yeah, well, I don't believe that they're capable of producing anything good, and it's been so long, and they've produced so much shit. Like look, what was it that happened? So they put out Rogue One. I actually really enjoyed it. It gave me a lot of hope. Like it actually did. Like after the trilogy was over, I was like, oh my god, that was fucking appalling. Please, just I don't want to think about it. Rogue One came out. Oh, actually, you know what? This is pretty good. And then what one was it? The Han Solo movie came out, trash, absolute dog shit. I was like, okay, never mind. I take it back. The Mandalorian was alright for a bit.
It's purely on the directors. It depends on the director and if they buy into the. Has the director drank the juice? Yes or no?
Yeah.
That's the real thing about the fucking. I mean, look at the Sauron pick from fucking from Twitter. Like,
don't even
from Twitter.
No, I'm not.
Sauron.
I'm not talking about Rings of Power. Please, I'm not doing it because I'm not watching it.
My power is only dwarfed by my forehead.
I am not watching Rings of Power. Oh, you know what's coming out soon actually, and I really hope it's decent because I actually really enjoyed the first one. Was House of the Dragon.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's the prequel series
Yeah,
for Game of Thrones, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? I went and again, as black pilled on Game of Thrones. I honestly love
This is gonna
Game
be
of-
shit. I'm gonna fucking hate this. You said like, oh, that's kind of
No,
nice. Actually.
you know what?
Alright, like,
You know what it was? It was Megan was like, "No, I want to watch it. I don't care. Come on, we're gonna watch it." I was like, "Right, fine." So we put it on. First episode.
right, fine.
All right, okay. You know what? Actually, that was actually pretty good. That was pretty good. Don't get me wrong. There was some stupid bits in it, but like, fuck it. You know, like.
Well, I love how most people go, "Wow, that wasn't shit." When watching show, like, "Wow, that was an absolute dog vomit and cat shit."
Yeah.
Way to go! Good job, director.
job.
You're a solid B plus. Like,
Yeah.
that's like the tippy top of the glass ceiling.
I feel like the best we can really expect for is like a solid B at this point. You know, that's honestly the best we're probably going to get. And you know, look, fuck, like, okay, look, back on point. What are people gardening about? Fudge. Is there anything else to talk about? Dyson, fudge Dyson. I honestly,
I mean,
if you.
really, just don't do it because you're basically because, like I said in my post, I'll go ahead and read my post.
Go for it.
I'll quote myself
Go for it.
to quote the big bearded retard himself. So fudging is just lying. Like the whole point of doing the dice thing is to work against the odds. Like the whole point is to work.
Yeah.
It's try and beat the dice and beat the difficulty. Beat the DR, the DC,
Yeah.
what we're gonna call it, and beat it. And when you beat it by yourself on your own dice, you get that big ass fucking dopamine rush. Like, oh, I fucking did it. I beat the odds. And if you die, I mean, if you die, you die. You have lost the game. Reroll your character. Try again. And it makes that victory like before you said you died for the fifth time that the fucking bandits. Well, this fucking sucks cock. You know, I ain't doing it.
Well,
But when you finally destroyed that entire party of bandits, like you did it. You earned that. You actually earned that victory. It's best to have your players earn their victories.
So all I can say is, if you want to learn about not fudging dice, go ahead and download Death March, because player die.
You gonna die.
You're gonna die. And you know what? I've had a lot of people complain to me. It's like, James, why, like you're dying, like why is everything so strong, or why do we have such good old hit points? It's like, yeah, if you get shot with a rifle, you're probably gonna. If you get run through by a bayonet, you're probably gonna die, mate. Not gonna lie. You know, there's a lot of, and again, like, you know, look, oh, you hit the bingo card. James talks about World War One. Hey, look, it was something like. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, you know what? I'm look, I'm already here.
I didn't even think about it. To you, like, oh fuck you.
Yeah.
Fucking bingo card.
Look, I'm gonna do it. So, in World War One, it's believed that 9 out of 10 men that were killed didn't even see the person that was killing them. You know, it's a very impersonal industrial war. And that's kind of what I really wanted to replicate.
You see a flash and then darkness because you're being shot by dude in a trench.
That, and also, like, artillery was the biggest killer by a big margin, and my artillery may as well vaporize people. Like, you know, have you watched the new All Quiet on the Western Front?
Same.
Have you seen?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember that bit whenever they first get there, and you guys shit himself, and he runs out of the dugout, and he gets like vaporized in the hallway? That's pretty much what I'm going for.
People don't understand how dangerous artillery is. Artillery isn't a big fireball; it's a burst of air and metal fragments.
Yeah.
Like, artillery is not this big fireball. Pew! It's is an air bubble burst, and just the pressure can liquefy your organs and kill you. Just snap your brain apart. And if the shock wave or the pressure wave don't get you, the metal shards of the flying knives will.
Yeah.
You know, it's just artillery is a brutal weapon. Like either it's mortars or actual artillery, grenades. They're designed to just maim and kill the fuck out of you. It's not like this big plume of fire. It's just dirt. Like your last vision is dirt.
Think of it like this as well. It's almost like, see, like, majority of like explosives, like artillery, hand grenades, stuff like that, they're almost identical after 100 years.
Oh yeah, there's no change. No change.
It's almost like, if you think about it, it's like genuinely, it's such an old weapon system. I was thinking about this the other day with nuclear weapons and all as well. Nuclear weapons, it's near enough an 80-year-old weapon system. And so many countries just don't have access to them, which is kind of insane when you think about how long is it going to be before, okay, we're like, you can't just keep these weapons out of the hands of every nation. And also, like, let's go back into it. Let's think of it like this. If you're a country that doesn't have nukes, you really want to have a few of them because suddenly you're a player in the game, you know?
Well, it's literally a power play. Like, I have one of these.
Wait.
Because basically, when you have one, you're equal with everyone else when you have one. Because yeah, he may have 200, but you drop your one on their country, it's going to suck absolute fucking cock.
Yeah. No, like I won't get too much into that sort of stuff. But honestly, weapon systems like that, it's kind of amazing just how old they are, and yet they still haven't changed, and they're almost perfect. It's just a matter of changing their distance of how far you can actually fire them and how accurate they are. But that's about it.
Think about the cannon and exploding shell. For the most part, nothing's changed. There's a long tube of metal firing a death ball at somebody, and the only thing that's really changed is that they've gotten better over time with reloads, but the concept is the same. You're firing a metal ball of iron at some fuckhead that way. It's going to explode and probably rip their fucking leg off, you know? Like, it's basically comparing like rifles and bullets. They've only gotten faster, but the main concept hasn't really changed. You're still launching a piece of lead at some fuckboy hiding in a bush across from you.
Yeah, it's kind of mad when you... but Garb, while I'm here, but the Finding followers would have never have thought about such weapons like that. They wouldn't have thought about that, Garb.
They would have loved to be able to slot brick the fucking AR-15.
No, Garb, that's a weapon of war, and why on earth would the average citizen want a weapon of war? Also, what on earth could the average citizen do with a rifle? The Vietnamese, like, I don't know what you're talking about. You don't want to talk about the Vietnamese, like, you know. But we've got gunships.
You need like airplanes and bombs to take on the government. Stairs in Vietnam.
Like, straight up. You know what? I want to do a fun question because you want to talk about anime, and I haven't seen it, and I don't really know what the fuck it's about. So it's just going to be you talking shit. If you want to talk about anime, do it on your own fucking channel, or wait until I've seen it. Okay? How does that sound? What do you want to do instead? I want to talk about something else. Give me a minute, and we'll think about something decent to segue into. Does that sound like a plan, guys? I think this is going to be an ad break.
Do you guys like tabletop RPGs? Do you like waifus and husband-fus in a colorful fantasy world? Do you fucking hate the ATF? Well, partner, do I have a tabletop RPG for you? Based off of a book series that holds back zero punches, the Veil Rider TTRPG is a game system based around the use of both blood magic, spells, swords and spears, as well as a healthy dose of machine gun fire and grenades. All activities in the game are based around an action point system, a set of points that you both use and spend and regain to do things in the world, allowing you a huge breadth of actions both in and out of combat. The basic field manual boasts 17 playable races, both foreign and familiar, including gnolls, elves, harpies, and spiderfolk. There are additionally 19 jobs with unlockable skill trees, ranging from a newly turned local man-at-arms to gunslingers who have luck on their side and might just be your huckleberry. Did we mention the war crimes? There are war crimes. There's a war crime chart. There's a war crime score. Yeah. Don't overuse the gas weapons and human shields or else local law may be a bit pissed. While the basic player manual or field manual is enough to play a game, there is also the combat controller manual that expands on nearly everything in the field manual, including nearly 100 new spells and potions, weapons, beckoners, drugs, and all manner of tools to use in the creation of the game. I also paid extra for hand-drawn art, so yeah, there's that too. If you want to be a dwarven machine gunner mowing down southern elves while blasting pumped-up kicks in your ears via cassette player, then the Veil Rider TTRPG is the game you have been waiting for. Ah, shit, the Yamato found the Willy P grenades. Hey! Put that down!
Alright, okay, so I've got it. I've got it for you, Garp.
We got it.
So what I'm thinking is, I've got an idea, right? And I kind of touched on this a wee bit, and me and Megan were talking about this on Gumroots and we were watching, it was like a show about like British geezers, and if you haven't checked out Gumroot, you really should, because it's so much more fun than YouTube, because like, you know, you can say things that you just can't do on YouTube, because you get auto-banned. But we were kind of talking about the SAS came out, or not the SAS, it was Parachute Regiments it was, right? And one of the founders of the SAS is actually from where we're from, and Megan's actually very distantly related to one of the founders, who she is.
No, yeah. You told her that, yeah.
Yeah, and well, it's one of those ones. It's like her dad's mum's second cousin, so like, you know what I mean? Barely related.
Dad's mum's girlfriend's boyfriend's second cousin.
Yeah,
dad's fucking brother.
It literally may as well be not related. You know what I mean? But either way, just putting that in there. And we were talking about how cultures shape a warrior. Right, now think of it like this, right? Let's think of it in the sense of, could someone that like lives in like Angola, in like some wee shitty fucking fishing village, become a tech startup giant? No, because the culture that he was born into, that he lives in, does not support that type of lifestyle. Could he become like maybe a high-end merchant? Who knows? Maybe that's a possibility, you know. But you're limited by the culture that you are born into, and I think that's fair to say. So let's go into this. Could, for instance, a US, let's say, Marine from World War II, does that warrior exist today? And I'm going to say no, because that person had to have lived.
Now I'm tracking.
Yeah, do you get what I'm
saying? Okay, so
could that, because that
the evolution of the mind and body for a warrior. Yeah, so it's like comparing like a modern warrior now to like a knight.
Yes,
like, it's completely fucking different. Yeah, okay.
Like,
now I'm tracking. You go first, because
yeah. Okay, I'll go for it.
I have sat for hours over Legion discussing with other guys, so you go first, because I want to talk over.
Right, okay, so when are we going to talk about... Oh, by the way, these are Grognards. This is where the name comes from. Alright, okay, look, I'm going to go for it. No, like,
on the bingo sheet.
Right, no, think of it, guys, right? You could not, to make a US Marine from World War II, they had to have that life expectancy. They had to have lived through the Great Depression. They had to have lived...
Hardened.
Hardened. Not even just hardened, but they had to have they have to be born in America. They have to have the whole American mythos behind them to create that warrior to be effective.
Ohio Ridge.
Same thing goes for maybe the Imperial Japanese Army. You could not create that mentality at all. You need to be Japanese to do that. You need to have been born in that certain place in that certain time to have lived that certain existence. Same way, like, you know, Europeans could never make samurai because they just couldn't do it, and it's vice versa. Japanese could never create knights. They're just fundamentally different people. Does that make sense? And I feel like there's a lot to that, you know? Where do you want to go with this? What's your ideas on the matter?
Well, I mean, this is a thing that I've discussed with the failings of the modern male coming into the next four generations.
Yeah.
And everyone says, well, you know, hard times create hard men, and there's always that quote.
Yeah.
But it's far more true than with the current liberal schism, because they go, LOL, they said the Quotican guys, they high five, chuds. But it's far more true than it is false. Comparing, like, let's say we'll keep it in modern stats. We'll say the evolution of automatic weapons. So we'll say end of World War One.
Yeah.
Sure, you know, the BAR, all that shit. Comparing that kind of soldier to, like, say, Gulf War. We'll say Gulf War. Because I believe it started changing when the Gulf War, because we got way more advanced. Because even during World War I, World War II, there were still absolutely brutal melees going down.
Yeah.
There are times you have to go and look into a guy's face, whether you're a German to American, American into a German or Italian, and you have to literally stab them to death
at some point. Yeah.
Yes. And like even then, like when the turn changed from going purely range, like think about when like in Vietnam, when like they start taking guns off fucking off the F4 Phantom. They're like, we don't need guns. And like, oh shit, put a gun, because they're still because they still had knife fights going on. They're like sky knife fights, and there were tunnel rats and people getting in fucking bush fights.
By the way, I kind of just put out there, tunnel rats seem like the worst job in the fucking world by such a big margin. It is not even funny.
What, are you sure? What?
No, it's honestly kind of just like, okay, can I you know what? After this, I want to list off the worst possible jobs you can possibly have in any military. One of them is just being a straight up Marine, because I don't like the idea of being shot with my waist and like up to my waist in fucking water. That is just not a good fucking place to be ever. You do not want to, like, on amphibious lanterns,
there are worms in the water. I ain't going in there.
Yeah, I ain't doing that shit. Like, honestly, I'm going to put it out here and say it. I'm going to say a tunnel rat in Vietnam is probably worse than a tunnel rat in World War One, and that is saying a lot for me. That's saying a fucking lot. Just because you have to factor in all the exotic insects and the spiders and the snakes and the heat and everything else that goes with it. Fuck that. That is
the traps.
Yes, too. No. Yeah, the worst thing you really got to worry about in World War One is they blow up on you, or you dig into someone else's tunnel and then you end up fucking battering each other with shovels or whatever. I mean, like, getting buried alive is pretty grim. It's probably one of the worst things I think I could imagine happening to someone. But yeah, Vietnam is definitely going to top that one for me personally. For me.
Well, it's why I said Gulf War, not Vietnam.
Yeah.
In Vietnam, there's still brutal melee going on. You know? And I've read a lot of books and journals and veterans about the whole thing, and they would talk about how they didn't discuss it much, but the bayonets got used a lot.
Yeah.
Because they would be up on you, and they're like close quarter pistol battles going on. But that's not what I want to discuss. It's just like in the Gulf War and onwards, it was no longer a worry, because there were some melee kills during the war in Afghanistan, but it's not nearly as prolific as World War I, World War II, Vietnam, or even just like remember like back in like line battles.
Yeah.
You were holding a spear and like, okay, off you go, boys, and you have to charge down this fucking field towards cannon fire.
Well, the idea was
musket fire to stab the enemy.
Well, the idea was if you made contact, generally speaking, most of the time they would just run away. So you'd make them like big ranks and all that sort of thing. Like that was the
but I mean, still, there's always that edge of you have to go in and use your giant gun spear to stab on the fucker.
Yeah,
and it just made harder men. You have to have the mentality of I'm gonna have to fucking stab a dude. Oh, and that even on the fucking World War II, there's still fucking their bayonets being used all the fucking time. You're going through these ruined cities and rubble, or guys using their helmets to beat the shit out of each other. There was still close range combat.
So I'll give you this one. Actually, you'll like this one. Apparently now, as wars went on, it's become. Well, it is still brutal, but the most brutal combat humans have ever seen, from what we believe, is cavemen. Because normally speaking, whenever you have like a battle, normally like on one side guns away, that's all well and good. Maybe you would get a lot of kills whenever they're running away, but you're not talking like you're talking like maybe like a really bad day, like even like 80% casualties. Like and that's like an extreme. You wouldn't really see that very often. Normally you're talking more like maybe 50% casualties. That would be like more of an average. But whenever you talk about like cavemen fighting each other, they're like chimpanzees, and they literally will just kill until until there's nothing left. Apparently that's what they did.
I believe they followed the extermination protocol.
Yeah,
they would try and remove the entire tribe.
Yeah, very very Mongolian, very Mongolian.
Well, because they would find the bones of these dudes, and basically their skulls be powderized and shit.
Yeah,
be huge broken bones and contusions on the skeletons, and what the fuck? Because I remember for a long time, if I remember reading correctly, they thought there was bear attacks and shit. There's a giant bear out in this fucking during this time, just fucking mauling people.
I really do believe. I think if you tried to fight a caveman, it would be literally like trying to fight a chimpanzee.
But us sized, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, maybe they're not as strong as a chimpanzee, but fuck me, I'm not trying that. I am not.
Well, Well, that, and we're going to do the same comparison. This being, like, say you had the modern man versus caveman. They're more or less, they're both humans. However, one has a much higher I must live drive than the other one.
If you're going unarmed, I have no idea how many modern men it would take to, like, average, think, like, office worker. Like, how many office workers do you think would need to take on a caveman? I honestly don't know.
Well, they would lack that sauce. They would lack that sauce, because the caveman knows either I kill or I die.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like it's kind of on par, in my eyes. It would be like a load of office workers trying to fight, like, a jaguar or like a lion. It's just not, like, you're going to need a lot of people, and they just don't have that. They don't even have that drive to be able to do it. Does that make sense?
Well, it's that drive.
Yeah.
It's a particular drive. Like, think about through the wars, you know, like, you don't want to be conquered. Like, oh, we can't let so-and-so conquer us. You know, I think the last big drive for I must succeed or else was probably World War II, you know, because Germany was conquering people, Japan was conquering people. And I was like, well, if you lose a war in Afghanistan, I guess the state's Afghanistan. Like, you know, like, they're not going to come here, you fucking dumb bitch. Like, I guess the only current war like that's fucking Ukraine. Like, either we kill Russia or we become Russia. That's the kind of only current example.
And you know what? Like, actually, yeah, you're right. Also, actually, on the topic of that, we've got so many videos of what's going on with Ukraine and all that. One
nightmare fuel.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty brutal. I wouldn't want to be there, just putting it like that. And it looks more and more likely. It's like, yeah, come on, we'll get involved. See, the amount of people that I know that have been in the army for like years that have left in the past year and a half is unreal. Like, pretty much everyone that I know that has been in the army, it's like I straight up asked one of them. It's like, yo, how bad is this going to get, man? It's like, well, I'm not going to be there. I can tell you that much.
So I think in Warcraft theory, like, war is becoming less and less personal.
Yeah, it has been for a long time. Yeah,
you're looking through screens, or you're engaging targets 1,000 meters out, or, you know, things like that. But, like, think about, like, through, like, that's particularly a drone operator. You have a drone, you're going out, and you're like, oh, look, dudes, you hover over and go click, and you drop your bomb, just destroy these poor fucking Russian peasants, you know, and fucking flutter away. At least in the Gulf War, it's still far more personal.
Yeah,
at least, you know, you're engaging in cities. Like imagine how personal melee combat was, even in just like the fucking 1700s.
Oh yeah,
if not like the 1500s. Like, let's say we'll go back, you know, like 1500s. Combat was always personal. You're in front of the dude. You know, if you're not an archer, but you're just watching the combat.
Even then, if you're an archer, you can still definitely see who you're hitting. Mm-hmm. Well, you're not going to see exactly. You can see it. You can see the damage being done. You can definitely, like, you're within reach. You can hear them scream when you hit them. You know what I mean? Like, that's.
And I guess we'll tie it back in to D&D or RPGs. Like, at least because you're kind of tasting the ancient fucking wasps of fucking personal combat.
Yeah.
Because you're more or less simulating being in a melee and trying to destroy somebody. And, like, it's funny how a lot of guys get, like, fucking, like, they can't even handle that. Like, if you have a really good, if you're like me anyway, and you're a fucking asshole, you can really sink in the fact you're killing somebody. And a lot of them, even playing pretend, a lot of the modern folk can't handle that shit.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Like an X card. Like, okay, you know what? While we're here, while we're here, can we just? I want to throw in as well. Like, think of the type of person it takes to be
another box on the bingo card.
What type of person becomes an adventurer? I'm going to tell you right now, the average people that play role-playing games are not cut out to be adventurers, because I definitely not. Like, it'd be like the people that become like cowboys, or, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a very, very dangerous job. It's a high risk, high reward, retard moves. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, before I forget, I think that these are like B tier hard times. You are seeing a switch, and like, I've seen the switch going on with some people. Like, man, this shit fucking sucks, and they're like semi-hardening a little bit.
I think,
you know?
yeah,
like,
I think
they're getting more jaded about a lot of things.
I feel like now this is one of the things that I kind of enjoy, because a lot of my friends, like a lot of my IRL friends, would never have thought about any sort, not even just conspiracy. They would be very, very, very hooked in. Let's call it. Very,
I know where this is going.
No, but the whole thing with COVID, it was kind of the best thing to ever happen, because it's made so many people question the world around them, and I can really consider that a good thing overall. And the people that never asked any questions about it, well, they don't have any hope. That's all I can say. People that was there ulterior motives going on with a lot of this sort of stuff, or does your government lie to you, is such an... Because the idea is, like, think of it like this. The idea of the government, like, bold-faced lying to you, even in the 90s, was like, oh, no, they wouldn't lie. Don't be silly. No. They wouldn't lie about that sort of thing. Don't be ridiculous. And now we've hit a point where it's like, can you trust anything that they say? Like,
can you trust any government, any news source, anything?
Like, straight up though, and that's kind of been one of the best things I think that's happened over the last couple of years. For me personally, I feel like a lot more
the
people
illusion's being shattered. Yeah.
Yes. Now, is that a good thing? For social cohesion, probably no. But we are.
For the betterment of the individual, I think it is. Like, they're seeing, like, oh, okay, I've been a fucking cog the entire fucking time, and they're finally kind of like, pop those eyes open, kid.
One thing I always, actually, while we're on topic, I always find this one really funny. Like, the idea of, like, woke and they mean the exact same thing, just for different people,
You know where woke came from, right?
The first time I've seen it, now I do believe it's actually from, like, Plato's Cave, personally. I think that's, like, the earliest form of it, but one of the earliest ones I've came across is... Honestly, I remember Hitler, like a Hitler speech, and he said, Deutschland has awoken. I was like, holy shit, did Hitler come up with the term woke? What? I was like, what? I thought I was like, whoa, something going on here.
See, from what I learned, or what I've been able to find out so far, is stay woke or get woke or become woke is actually an old... Black American phrase from the 1930s. And I believe it started as stay woke, as in stay awake, as in don't fall asleep, don't get lulled into things. Actually, Bill Burr has a great joke about it, about white folks. Hey, stay woke, that sounds cool. Stay woke. And it kind of got co-opted, where it's one of those funny things where I know I can hear the fucking viewers going, motherfucker. But going woke is not staying woke. To stay woke means to be aware of, like, the social issues, political issues that are affecting you personally. Yeah. And the truth of them, not being lulled to sleep by the serenade of the government. Guys, remember the fucking Black Americans were getting fucking absolutely dicked down in the 1930s. Yeah. The fucking Tuskegee thing, it wasn't great.
Yeah, they're not having a good time. And I think anyone that says, like, no, they're having a great time, what are you on about? It's like, wait, come on, why is that?
No, they were loving it. They love having their entire neighborhood set on fire by helicopter bombs.
They love it. Like, here, I saw Song of the South. They looked happy. What are you on about?
They're over there singing.
They're singing and shit. What are you talking about? They're singing.
But the thing is that's why they said stay woke, because they'd be like, oh no, they love it. Like, no, we don't, you fucking turds. And I don't know why the liberals try to make it like, oh, because like punks, like, oh yeah, we love the government. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, mate, kind of what? Actually, where do you want to go with this? Is there anywhere else you want to go? I know, you know what? There's so much stuff that we haven't spoken about.
I mean, it correlates to. I mean, it's gonna sound like a huge stretch or something, but it correlates to tabletop RPGs and war games. It does.
Yeah, it does. Like, you're not a big fan of history stuff, but I don't really like the term history repeats itself. I prefer the idea of
history just repeats itself.
Well, it does to a certain extent, but more get rhymes. It's got similarities that we keep doing again and again.
Well, you can draw parallels very easily.
Yeah, there's a lot of parallels, and you can see that very similar things play out. Now, they're not the exact same, but they're close enough. You know what I mean? They're very, very close. And I think, like, you can definitely draw on these ideas for, like, any role-playing game. And you know what? There's a lot of stuff that isn't really...
Actually, yeah, you know what? That's a good fucking point. You could easily kind of make an actual true parallel into RPG game and literally mirror the current status quo. And you could use that to fucking wake some people up to, like, oh yeah, there's this mad king and he's fucking just making gold coins out of nowhere and people are starving. That sounds crazy. Yes, you go stop him.
Yeah.
Just completely flip that shit on him. Yeah, sounds awful. Yeah, it's awful. Yes, you should go kill that guy.
Yeah. I'm not saying go political, but like again, I really like. I don't really like taking stuff directly from history, but I use it as like
we can make this video make sense.
Well,
the correct and incorrect ways of using politics in a game.
Okay. So I've got the perfect example.
Yep.
So
see, I knew we both have it. Yeah, like that. 'Cause that's such a fucking. It's a huge issue, and people aren't doing it correctly. So how do you do it correctly? How do you be a fucking retard when you do it?
So my way of doing it, what I really like is I love one of my favorite stories from the Protestant Reformations is
God.
It's the Anabaptists in, was it Hamburg? I think it's one of those. No, it's Munich. I can't remember. It's one of those German cities.
Hamburg.
It might be. And the guys are still actually in cages, by the way. But you could definitely run this as, because there's so much weird shit that goes on. Like, I mean, these guys are like fucking loonies. And to give you an idea, like, you know, there's this guy, and he claims that he can like talk to God, and he's like a proper like. But the way he talks to God, it's like he's got like a radio in his back pocket with God. He's like, you know, he would remind you of one of those like mega church preachers almost, you know, but a medieval version.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah, like proper mental, like Keith Copeland tier, you know what I mean? And the guy actually goes out and meets an army by himself, and he ends up just getting fucking shot. So he does, like, and that's it. You know what I mean? It was like, what the fuck? But there's loads of stuff there. I'll throw it up on screen, the name of it, but definitely check that out, guys. And again, like, you know, you could definitely run that as like cultists have taken over the city, and you know, maybe you can be in the city when it goes on. Maybe you sneak into the city and go undercover and see do a bit of investigating. There's a lot of really weird stuff, and how the whole situation came about is actually brilliant. Honestly, it's one of the, like, I'm honestly not that fussed on the Protestant Reformations. I mean, like I like the 100 Years' War, that's kind of cool, but the actual like Reformations themselves isn't something that I know the stuff, but I would say I'm definitely not specialized. I only do like the broad strokes. You know what I mean? It's not something that I spend an awful lot of time.
You're not like super into it. Like, I don't fucking think about it.
Well, yeah, you know what? I know it about as well as I know the American Civil War. And like, I don't really know the American Civil War all that much, bar like the broad strokes of the big players and some of the more basic stuff. And I can tell you maybe one or two things about it, but it's not World War One or the fucking Roman Empire, Roman Republic. So
or the Boer War, yeah.
Wait, that's a great one. No, what are you on about? Where would you go? Where would you go for politics? How would you implement them and not do them in a way that's fucking ridiculous?
We all see how they're being used. They're all being used incorrectly. They're putting in a bunch of gay shit. They're putting in a bunch of like.
Did you see the front cover? Did you see the new cover? Now, don't get me wrong. It's it's modern. It's Wizards artwork, so you can't expect anything to actually look decent. You know what?
It's honestly boring as shit.
So shit. It's actually. I could not imagine art as boring and as dull as what they pump out so consistently. Who hires these people? Who's actually making this art style? And who on earth? You know what it reminds me? It's literally the hOmOPhObIc art style. Like, see all this modern fucking fantasy art? It looks so fucking boring and drab, and it all just looks. It's, you know what it is? Don't get me wrong. World of Warcraft. It's World of Warcraft here. And I used to really like the art style for World of Warcraft, and I think it's made it age very, very well.
Well, the thing is, but Fizbin's has an alternative cover that looks a lot better, in my opinion.
Which one? Link us up.
So here, I'm pretty sure this is the one I saw earlier. I think it's like, because basically it's D&D 5th Ed, right? It's what they're doing the big release for.
Yeah. Oh, that looks quite nice, actually. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, like that one. I'm like, that looks great. I'm not sure. Like, again, it's just a choice they made. It was a really poor choice, in my opinion.
Who likes that shit? It's Tumblr tier. It's fucking Tumblr, man.
I mean, it kind of is, like, you know. I mean, it's pandering. Like, it's basically like to me, it's like having that kid in a wheelchair and like all the posters. It was like that one black dude, which was like one black dude, one Asian chick, one white dude, and a kid in a wheelchair. You know, it's always like everyone's here.
Oh, is that the Strixhaven artwork? Are you on about? I think
no, just in real life. You know, it was like posters. It was like there's like every race there, and one guy in a wheelchair, one girl with those little arm crush things.
Yeah.
But like, well, look at like that book cover, and then like. Is it called Fizbin's? Well, am I remembering it correctly?
Garb, I'm going to hit you with it. Where our recording time is coming up to 54 minutes. You got
fuck?
So what? you got 6 minutes to bang out your point about how you would do it.
But like, it's just, you know, you do it in a way way where it makes sense. And if you want to take a moment out of history or a great conspiracy and kind of turn folks to do it, you do it via subtle means. You know, you got to use your brain, you got to use your personal tact. You can't go, the evil orange king in his golden crown seek control of the world. You can do that, I guess, when you do a parody run. But you know, it goes a long way to use a bit of subtlety.
Yeah,
you know, like you could go, the Mad King has forgotten where he put the launch codes. Go find them. You know, and literally you could do that. Or like you know, there's a thing when I lost, but I forget. But you know, you could go full meme with it. But always choose a path that is not so unsubvert. You know, it's so, don't do anything too obvious. Like, I mean, you've seen all these fucking Reddit games. Like, I swear to God, I've seen so many games, and like, because I read there, and I do air quote here, green text on Reddit, where it's like literally Drumpf. Like the evil King Drump has taken over the land, or he's got a fucking princess he wants to rape or something like that. It's always some fucking cringe shit like that. And just use subtlety, use your brain, use your storytelling skills.
Don't get me wrong, I think Trump is a perfect character to throw into any role-playing game because he's so goofy. Let's be serious, the guy's goofy.
All these elves are gay.
Yeah.
You're gay.
I mean, like, I think he's a really funny character to throw in, you know. And I got no it. Like, don't get me wrong. Look, I put in Joey Diaz into almost every game that I play because I just really think Joey Diaz is just really fucking funny. If I be honest with you.
Thing is, I've put in OJ Simpson 6 times. No one figured it out.
Did you? What? Oh, you need
to figure it out.
What do you call the guy? You need to get the guy that does the peas on people. What do you call him again? P. Diddy? No, it's not P. Diddy.
Oh.
No,
R.
Kelly.
Oh,
giving him the golden showers. Mate, have you seen all this stuff that's coming out about P. Diddy at the minute? Oh my God, it's unreal. Mate, it's actually...
Oh my gosh, looks like wrist. They're California Hollywood elitists that are actually pedophiles. That's crazy.
Yeah,
who could see such a thing coming? That's again, you could also keep it like that. Yeah, you know, all these kids are going missing, and parents are pissed, and you know, the whole team of royals just stealing children for their own sexual pleasures. Whoa. Every guys go in, because it's also like the grand canceling where, like, I guess so it was like a fashion show, someone said let them eat cake, and now like the fans are revolting and
did you see that? Yeah, I saw something about that where your woman actually said got them. Mate, that was me. Why did you think that was a good idea?
Wow, you're a dumb bitch, ain't you?
Yeah.
Oh God, my empire is falling. Yeah.
Like, you know, okay, I'm just like, so this is one thing that I actually, you know what, can we finish up on? And it's do with more civil unrest. Everything's a garp until it's not. You know what I mean? Why did all the French elites end up dead during the French Revolution? Because they never thought it was actually going to happen. Because they were so isolated and they did not actually believe anything was going to happen. Otherwise, they would have fled. They wouldn't have been there to be killed. But guess what? It fucking did. You know what I mean? And you can say, like, you know, the same thing's going on today. Definitely, it's like, oh, that's just a LARP. You know what I mean? Nothing's actually going to happen. Nothing ever happens until it actually does happen. And then, oh my God. And you know what? To go back on that as well, you said earlier about the modern American doesn't have the will to fight. It's like, well, you don't really need the modern American, because let's be serious, you might only need a few thousand of them that will actually
like literally a few thousand rednecks or like Midwest folks who still like do stuff and use their hands and shit and have an opinion.
Well, let's look at, like, don't get me wrong, the whole Jan 6 thing was ridiculous. Like, you know, but how many people were there?
I sure let the protest stayed in the lines of the fucking corridor.
Yeah,
course, you know?
I know. That's what I was saying to one of Megan's friends. She's like very, very gullible, but I would say over the last like 3 or 4 years, she's like, yeah, but she's like, I would say, like, you know, she's very much like flipping, like very much. So a lot of her views have definitely changed heavily over the last like couple of years, you know. And that was one that like really hit her, was like, because she was trying to say to me about it, it's like, yeah, but look at them, like they're staying between like the lines, and like, you know, they're going about taking like photos. Like, the worst thing that really happened is like they stole the laptop. Like, you know, okay, that's like too far. Like, you know, there was definitely things that happened there that definitely did get out of hand, but like, you know, how many people were there? And oh, it's an uprising, you know, like, I don't even want to get into all that sort of stuff.
Well,
but
again, the other thing, you know, this isn't related to D&D, but like the absolute speed of news is destroying the narratives.
Oh yes, it really is. And also, is there any narrative you can trust at this point? You know, how many...
Only your own, you know?
And honestly, we're at a point where we might not... Even if there's a video of it that happened and you see the video, it's like, how long is it going to be?
AI?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I kind of think, I honestly do believe that might be one of the reasons why AI has been let out of the bag in the last couple of years. So there's plausible deniability on absolutely everything, you know? So you can't even believe what you see anymore. You know, you can't even believe like a video.
We're going back to 1920s views where you believe what you see with your own eyes in real life. Like, yeah, like, you know, like you see a car wreck, like I saw it, I passed by. But if you hear on the news, yeah, look at this car wreck, you're kind of like squinting, like, well, it's on a screen and I can't see it very well. Is it really a car wreck? You know, like,
yeah.
You mean it basically? You have to believe analog news, like shit you actually saw, or things or people you don't trust are reporting back to you,
or very like localized news almost, you know what I mean? But even then, that can be, it's all over the show and what's going on. How would you relate this to role-playing games? Honestly, I feel like overthrowing the kingdom or having like a bloody uprising isn't really done all that much. Like, you know, yeah, we do a lot of dungeons and stuff, but like, you know, maybe like, you know, the idea of playing about in court, being like, you know, I think there's a lot you can work with that.
Problem is not a lot of guys can run a political game like that. They just don't have the imagination to do it. They can't create all these spider webs of dudes that go through the royals.
Why not? If you want to do it, I would say, why don't people have a go? And if anyone wants to run this, and I'd be completely on board, but we're going to have to use like Cyberpunk 2020 rules. But can we do Operation Mayhem from Fight Club? And there you go.
I mean, if you know how to write, the hardest part about that is simply doing the interweaving web of information that you got to track through. And that's kind of the fun part about doing these intrigue games is you start somewhere and start drawing lines across all, because you got to make at least 30 NPCs that are kind of like the big who's. And you got to draw these lines with things they do know and don't know, and what. So it is quite fun. It's hard. I've done it once successfully, and it was really, really fun. But I've done it once, and I'm good for the next 4 years of not doing one, because you have to keep track of so many non-truths and falsehoods. It's very hard.
We're going to go back to for me. It's a skill issue. I know it for myself. It's something that I probably could not learn. I could learn it, but I wouldn't be a good one. That's all I can say. It wouldn't be a very. There's definitely better people out there that could learn that game far better than what I ever could. You know. Do you want to finish up, or is there anything else you want to talk about? Any deck of many triggers. It'll be.
Oh yes. Those cards looked so good.
Yeah, I'm really happy with them. So I don't know how long it's going to take for them to actually come in. I'm away on holiday, so I am. The start of June, so I am. I'm hoping that the cards are in, and once the cards are in, I can get photos taken of them. Now, the problem that I've got is there's no sign-up page. We can't do a sign-up page because we're not doing it on Kickstarter, because obvious reasons, because I don't want to get fucking banned. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so we'll do.
Speaking of the narrative,
yeah, well, exactly. Like, you know, the thing is, like, what is the point of the deck of many triggers? It's literally just to parody the state of modern role-playing games. Like, and there's
it's comedy,
and also
comedy is dangerous.
All the cards that I've done are literally just memes. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. There's some like, there is some very offensive cards in there, but like, you know, we're not going to show you any of them cards. We're only like, that's what we're doing, right? There might be, if we hit all
those are the dirty surprise later on.
Put it like this: if you like the promo cards, you're definitely going to love the full deck. That's all I can really say. The reason why we don't want,
if you got a sense of humor and not a fucking buzzkill, you're going to like the cards.
Yeah. And honestly, I can't put it like this, and it's going to be crowdfunder only. The way I want to do it is, so once we do the crowdfunder, I'm going to order in that many cards. I'm going to order an extra 10% margin of error. Like, you know, normally, like, you know, I don't really see that much. Maybe you're talking like, anytime I've done a Kickstarter, you're talking maybe like 3% of people have issues with a post.
Well, someone's gonna get pissed off. Like saying, I wouldn't order too few. Someone's gonna get pissed off. They're like, "Look at this filth," and people go, "Oh, that's pretty fucking funny."
Yeah,
it's weird how like one man's insult is another man's joke. Like that's pretty good. Yeah, they're gonna go buy the product.
I mean, like,
it just depends on how it pans out. Has it happened nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, the people that are gonna like get all uppity about it are never gonna buy it. So like, what's the point? Like, well, they are. They're gonna be all fucking like, it's offensive. It's like, well, it's not really like, you know, I don't think there's anything that we're putting out.
I'm sorry. Do you see yourself in the cards there? Blue hair?
Yeah, like, you know. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into it because I don't know when this video is going to go up, and it might be another, like, it could be, like, honestly a month, because they said to me whenever they're going to produce the cards, they said, the manufacturer said it'll take them 50 days, and I don't know if that's 50 days to print them all and send them to me, or if that's just the production timeline, or you know what I mean. So they've got the cards like printed, but they don't have them cut as far as I'm aware, and then, you know, by the time they get them sent out to me, we have no idea. The timelines are all over the show, and then also I need to go and get them professional photos taken of them and everything else that goes with that, you know. So look, we'll get there. I think if you guys are interested in it, you guys are going to really enjoy it, but I've got no sign up place for you because I want to do like an early bird special. I want maybe like the first 100 people, you can get it for like a discount price, like 30% off or something, you know what I mean? I think that would be a good way to do it, just to help us get it like 100% funded. But like, you know, we'll keep it to like the first 100 people. But like if you want to find out about that sort of stuff, you're gonna have to follow us on social media. How does that sound, guys? Anything else?
Like and subscribe on Twitter. Whoa.
Yeah. Well, it's not like fucking subscribing does anything these days, for God's sake, you know what I mean?
Not fucking YouTube. Dude, I had a guy on YouTube go, "Hey, you have a new series?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just ended it." Because he just ended it. Like he had gotten a single alert for the entire second book of Emily Bronze. He's like, "Wait, what? It ended?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's on this last chapter." You're like, "Oh fuck!" And you get a single alert the entire time.
Yeah. Look, you know what? And again, you need to remember, man, we're pretty much shadow banned, and
it's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan.
You know, there was someone gardening at me the other day, and I was like, "Hey, like, I'm at the point where like I'm completely, don't get me wrong, I love YouTube, I love what I've been able to achieve with YouTube, but I would say I'm pretty much retired when it comes to YouTube. Like, I'm not, like, it's not my main job anymore, and I'm at the point where I more or less do it for fun, you know what I mean? And I work on a lot of other stuff which is faceless, and you know what, it's kind of nice that I don't have to deal with like men in dresses. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to deal with like uppity men in dresses shouting at us. You know what I mean? So anyway, look,
it's ma'am.
Yeah, unironically. Look, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let us know what you think. I know this was really rambly, but I actually kind of enjoyed it. And you know what? We didn't have to talk about Garbu's fucking anime, so that was always a win. What?
Sorry, sorry. What'd you say? I got an alert.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Anyway, look, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time.